Hey everybody, it's Frank from Great Golf Reviews. Last September, I had a really cool opportunity to go out and do a playing lesson with an expert golfer. And we got out on the course, we did a nice introductory video. He introduced himself. His name is Amani Dambrosio. We talked about what we were going to be focusing on during the lesson. And of course, I forgot to press record. So this is an attempt to tee this up. So in this playing lesson, we don't focus on mechanics. There's no swing instruction. It's more about golf strategy and the mental side of the game. I was really impressed and learned a lot from listening to Amani talk through his approach on his shot, how he listened to me and kind of interpreted my feedback, and just helped me think about the game and golfing my ball a little bit better. I really think if you have the opportunity to go and do a playing lesson with your local pro or teaching pro, you should absolutely do it. You're going to learn a lot about your game and how really excellent golfers navigate. Of course, it's a little different than you might expect. It's not all throwing darts and hitting it into the middle of the fairway. So I hope you enjoy this playing lesson. Take a little bit away from Amani Dambrosio's discourse and assistance to me. So here we go. All right, 3-wood, let's do it.
You only have 180 to the 150. It's downhill.
Okay.
And everything's going to be rolling further. The biggest thing here is avoiding that bunker on the right. So I would just set your field goal. You know, you have a pretty wide field goal with this club here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd set it right edge of the green side bunker.
Okay.
And then the left edge of that fairway bunker.
Yeah, love that. It's
and
just
you know,
a matter of
you're
executing.
playing your draw down, starting it down the right side.
Okay, working on keeping that takeaway straight.
Yep. And then when you get into the shot, just accept it.
Acceptance. Execute the swing. That was a top, but we're going to do it again. People see the good and the bad on Great Golf Reviews.
Yep.
You see a lot of bad. Acceptance.
Swing hard at it.
Let's go.
Okay.
I don't think my field goal was lined up there, but it was a better swing.
So that's where you open it up and feel like you need to close it down.
Yeah. All right, so what do we got? I'm thinking 100.
First thing, before you pick a club, I mean, obviously you get your number, right? So 123. But the second thing is the lie, especially out of the rough, because that's going to dictate a lot.
Okay.
So right here, the ball's below your feet, or above your feet, and the rough's pretty thick. So, I mean, it's probably, everything's going to want to pull left.
Okay.
So, I mean, 123, I'm thinking you're trying to hit this probably 110, 115. And I'm looking, always getting a cover number. So there's a bunker short of the green, and that's 100 to cover. So, I mean, you can hit, what do you hit 105?
My 56, but I don't have a lot of confidence in it. I would choke up a gap wedge.
All right, then go with that. And if you choke up like 1 to 2 inches, it takes off like 5 yards.
Okay.
For target, I'm looking dead middle of the green here. You're just on the front, and if you pull it a little bit, we've taken short enough club that it'll still be on the green.
Okay.
So like right where those trees cut out is kind of your actually finishing target.
Okay, I like that. I think the alignment's good. All right. Normally that draws in a little bit, but that's on the green,
Okay, look.
so we get a long one.
You pushed it a little right, but it's still on because we picked the right club.
Yeah, love it. All right, long putt. You said that you wanted me to think about every putt the same way. Did I mischaracterize?
A foot to 2 feet past here.
Okay.
Right? Ideally. Some putts, it's okay to leave short. But on a longer putts, we're thinking about that circle that we were talking about. So I think within like 5 feet here is a good putt.
With like long putts, I don't tend to think about much on the break. I just kind of want to get it, I mean, obviously try to read a little bit, but it's more just distance and getting it there. Nope, that should have rolled
on longer
down
putts,
yeah.
The biggest thing is speed.
Talk to me about your theory behind field goal versus like a landing zone. You think it's just easier to Is
I
it?
mean, it's whatever works best for the individual golfer. Like some people see a very specific spot,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, if you pick a field goal, you can kind of narrow down your spot from there,
Yeah.
and you see where you want to hit it.
Yeah.
Instead of picking a spot, it's sometimes that can be too specific.
A little too exacting.
Yeah,
When I'm on the range, I do tend to do the field goal thing, and I'll envision like the hole I'm playing. So I'll
Yep.
be thinking like, all right, this is my
Exactly.
ideal driving lane. So I like that. So that white post to the
Yep.
left, kind of, it's almost.
And some people, if they pick an exact spot, they might feel too much tension from that
Yeah.
spot. Like, oh, I have to hit it exactly there.
I think mentally that's
Where the field goal is like, wow, I have 40 yards there
right.
to hit it in between.
It kind of gets to like the big smaller misses type philosophy.
And we're always moving our field goal, to the side we want to miss it on.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's a good thought too. All right. The viewers will see where this shot goes. There's no pressure here.
Perfect. All right. So, again, we have 123, but what's the next most important thing? The lie, right? So the ball's below your feet here, which is going to push it that way.
Okay.
So,
yes.
you said you wanted
below the feet always pushes right, above the feet left, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's because the club is more angled this way.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's going to be a little harder to draw here. So I'm looking at hitting your, stock shot, right at the right center of the green.
Okay.
And just letting it be straight.
Okay.
You're seeing more of a straight shot here, because after lie, you're thinking about what shot you can hit. And then when you decide on that shot, you're trying to picture what that shot's going to do.
Okay.
So,
right center.
Same feel here, but you're keeping it straight. You're thinking about seeing that ball go straight.
And then just kind of let the physics work for me.
Yep, and we're not really worried. On this shot, we're not really worried about that pin.
Now, with the ball below my feet, choking down would obviously not work. I don't want to I don't want to like lengthen.
You can stand a little wider.
Okay.
Because, you stand a little lower to the ground when you're wider.
Okay. Oh, that's bad. See, that's just a hard shot for me below the hole.
All right, do one more.
All right. All right, so here we ended up on the right side of the green. And somewhat of it, like that lie is not great.
All right, I like how you're thinking about the lie first.
A little tight.
But
and kind of
put your club down. See if it actually is tight or not. So you do have some ground, it's sitting up a little bit.
Okay. Now on these shots, obviously the high handicap, mid handicap's tendency is to hit behind it and duff it.
Yep.
So I always try to tell myself is hitting the ball first and letting your shoulders do the work and letting the club, letting the bounce kind of just get through it.
Yep.
So you told me earlier, keep my weight forward.
And you're on a little bit of
stance.
you're a little bit on of an uphill, so I want you to kind of square your shoulders to that.
Okay. Square my shoulders to the uphill, meaning?
To the uphill.
Okay.
To mat, because
I see. Okay.
Because if you keep them level with your body, you're going to go into the ground.
Okay.
And now, the biggest thing with chipping, you're thinking about a spot on the green that you want to land it.
Yeah.
Or you can do a circle.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for you, the biggest thing is getting it on the green. So some people will want to try and land it right here.
Mm-hmm.
But they're bringing the rough into play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm trying to land it right here, because that uphill lie is going to allow you to hit it higher.
Okay. That's really where I was thinking about hitting it.
Yep.
That's good. Okay. So I'm going to try to hit it.
And that lies decent, so you can, just make a
Now here's the
Commit to
commitment
it.
point, right? Like we've gone through the whole routine. Now I can't be thinking about where the ball is going to go from here.
Exactly.
What I'm thinking about is just hitting this. Yeah, say.
Keep your attention on hitting that ball first. Nice. So if you're playing for a score, right? You're over here looking at the slope. It's going to be pretty flat to start, and then it's working its way downhill.
Okay.
And then you get your read and knock it in.
All right.
Little misread.
Not so good.
So here's a good hole here.
Okay.
So yes, it's a par 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's narrow.
Yeah.
And how far do you carry your driver?
230, 40 maybe.
Okay. So that bunker on the left's 240. If you hit hybrid, you know, you're going to put yourself in play, and it's probably another 150, another hybrid to 100 yards. So you can hit driver.
You know, you're right, and I just don't trust my driver's just not. I mean, my hybrid and my 3-woods are just not predictable enough for me. Like I would like to think.
So then let's get a little more narrow with the field goal.
Okay.
So let's take it from that red tree out there, the
Okay.
right side of it, and where those carts are, just left of it. So you see that pine just left of it?
Yeah.
Yep. That's
right, kind of where the cart is right now.
Yep, that's your field goal.
Okay.
In this one, really commit to the feeling that you want and that intention of sending it down that field goal. Right down the center of the fairway.
Well, I hit the shit out of that ball. It just went right.
That was real close.
Yeah, if that draw had picked up, I feel like that was so good I could hit it again. It was a good strike, right?
Yep.
So now it exploded off the face.
So here.
Okay.
So even though you know those bunkers are in play.
Yeah, I favored it a little too much.
I still want you to be okay with it going left.
Okay.
Because that is way better than right.
Yeah.
And that's going to keep you in the hole.
That's true. Yep. All right. So exaggerating a little bit to the left.
There you go.
That's it, but
I know, but
that's
exaggerated. In play.
Yeah. All right. So again, like I remember my grandfather, who was a Baptist preacher, would say, when you're playing golf, thou shalt not kill. So he wouldn't want you to hit the ball super hard, but you told me to swing hard, and I've heard that it's kind of come back full circle. Like you do have to swing aggressively. You do have to hit a full hard shot. How do you balance that with like over swinging or actually trying to kill it?
The difference is the backswing versus the downswing. Where you want to swing aggressive is through the ball.
Okay.
So like from impact on is where you want to feel like you're swinging aggressive, because most people, if they're guiding it or steering it, they slow down at the ball.
Okay.
So slowing down in your backswing can be helpful, you know, for some people, but it's when you're on a tight hole, being aggressive through the ball is most important.
All right.
Not going for the green here, but we know where the fairway is. So let's shoot, you know, these trees right here. Let's see what they are.
With the mile C. You like that vibrate?
I do.
You let it lock in?
Yep. It's giving us 5 yards of slope right here. So it's 130 to that the second tree on the left here.
Okay.
So let's try and hit this about 160 to 170. Kind of the same shot we hit on the last hole.
All right. That's my 7-iron. And there it is.
There's the mile C.
We're digging that. I'll tell you more about that later. All right, my aim point is, I think I'm just kind of, there's like looks like a signpost up there, a wooden signpost. I'm gonna try to keep it a little left of that.
Yeah, I like going left of that. You see that that like yellow,
Yeah, deadish
those yellow
tree.
flowers. Yeah,
Mhm. Okay.
right
Yeah.
there. And
Let's check the lie.
let's check the lie. So you have a little bit of grass behind it, which is going to shut the face down.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
might okay, so my old self would try to flatten it and just
Nope.
spike it, but that's
if anything, you actually want to start with the face slightly open,
okay. Why is that?
because the grass behind it is going to turn the club down.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can do it. Slightly open. Oh, yes.
Nice. Perfect.
Love it. Okay.
So 113 playing 116.
Okay. So
And
I
now
would probably hit my 56 here, just because I know going long is not great.
how far did I say?
113 playing 116.
So how far do you hit that?
I can hit this 120, but usually it's pretty good right on 100. So maybe I should. It is uphill a little bit. Maybe I should choke down on the wedge again on the.
You know, you're trying to
gap.
land this about 110, which is going to end up being a 115 shot.
All right, I think I'm comfortable with this.
Okay. Because like you said, short isn't, horrible.
I feel like I can go after it a little bit
Yeah,
too here.
I like
Whereas
it.
I think with my wedge, I'd be feeling a little.
And but I like going right at that telephone pole.
Okay.
Because, even with a wedge, you still,
Still have a draw.
Yep.
Somewhat. Okay. So I like to get on the pre-shot routine, my club face square to my target, then my stance, and then my waggle, and then it's just kind of commit. And it got fat, and that's why it's going to be short.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now hit one with your wedge. Just choke down a little bit and hit it a little softer. And still go through your pre-shot routine.
There. Now weight needs to be a little forward.
Yep. Swing through it. Nice.
That's probably going to be long, but that's a lot better than. Well, no.
No, it was pin high.
That's good. All right, Monty, we're in the bunker,
All right.
and this intimidates us.
So how do you usually play your bunkers?
I pick a spot. First of all, I get really open, like exaggeratingly open, and try to come through it. And I pick a spot behind the ball. These bunkers aren't quite as fluffy as you might be used to. So I saw somebody on golf Twitter say, don't think about hitting behind the ball. Just think about hitting kind of through it.
Yeah.
What would you say?
That's fine. I just want you to be a little more square to this
Okay.
one. Especially on a longer one like this. And just keep your face a little more square rather
Okay.
than open.
Okay.
Yep. But if you want to think about going through the sand, that's perfectly fine. Nice.
There it is. Good tips.
Yeah. I just when you're super open like that, I mean, you can watch Morikawa and Scotty Scheffler. They'll set up if we're going to this pin, they'll set up closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of counter to everything I'd ever heard about bunker shots.
Exactly, because they want to feel like they can still stay shallow and still go left.
Okay.
Whereas if you're like this, you're more likely to hit it off the toe
Yeah.
because your hands are going where your body is.
Yeah. All right. All right, this is hole 9, the last hole of our lesson. This is where it all comes together, right?
Yep. So this is one where, both sides of the fairway, or, both sides are, not a great miss, but this is where, you be clear on what you want to do and stay focused on that fairway.
So what I want to do here is hit this ball on a line with the 150 mark
Okay.
with my draw.
So when we're on a tight hole like this,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to narrow the field goal just a little bit,
Okay.
because you can be a little more precise here. Just, I'm looking at the 150 stake and that cart sign up there.
Okay. So that's going to kind of be my shoot.
Yep. And then you can aim right of that for your draw.
Okay. My air quotes draw. We haven't really seen it very much today.
It'll come out.
I'm sure it will.
And really, commit to this one and swing hard at it. Perfect.
Yes. Amani, that was the best of the day. You mentioned swinging hard at it. When I was growing up as a youth golfer, like nobody would tell you to swing hard.
No, when you're on a hole like this, you have no option but to swing hard.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you try and guide it and steer it, that's when a big miss happens.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you let all those past shots that were big misses come into your head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a pre-shot routine is huge, because the more you do the same thing over and over in your pre-shot routine, because you want to keep it ideally the same, amount of time.
Okay.
And when you get up on a hole like this, it's no different.
So we got one last approach shot.
All right.
You said
92 yards.
92 yards. Now that is the 56.
It seems like a nice smooth 56.
All right.
So again, we're still being aggressive through the ball here.
And I'm aiming to the right of the pin. It's kind of there. I see a little gap in these trees.
There's a little.
There is.
It's in a bowl here, so try and go as close to the pin as you can.
And weight forward.
You can keep it pretty square, just because it's on an upslope.
Okay,
so.
right. So you said get the shoulders square with the slope.
Yep.
Oh, and I fucking hit it fat. God dang. I gotta do that again.
Yep.
Ah, that sucked.
So move that ball back in your stance. That's going to be key for your wedges. There you go. Yep. Perfect. And swing through it.
Oh, that was just so bad. Look at that.
See how all your weight's on your back foot?
Yeah. Ugh.
Look, we're going through the ball.
Okay.
Trying to get onto that front side.
I mean, I used to be so money with these shots. Oh man, this is painful.
Ball first.
So money is maybe a little aggressive, but I used to be fairly okay.
Ball first. Yeah.
That's it.
That's your cue.
Ball first. Hey, Amani, thanks a lot, man. This has been a ton of fun. I think if anybody wants to get better at golf, you can go to the range, but playing with somebody that knows the game and can walk you through your own swing, your own capabilities, it's gonna make a big difference on the course.
And anybody can, work on these things. You don't have to be a pro golfer to work on them.
Absolutely.
So,
cool, man. Well, thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Amani's gonna hit my duff. He's gonna put this stuff right on. All right, here we go.
You're giving me the itch.
No, I better not. This is gonna be nice and easy. Is that gonna come back? Is that gonna check? Oh, look at that. I think you'll like it.
Pretty good.
Let's go check it out. Yeah, that was a pretty good shot. All right, this is Frank from Great Golf Reviews. Peacing out from Pittsburgh National after a great playing lesson with my new buddy, Amani Dambrosio. Say thanks. And
thanks, guys.
Go get yourself a lesson sometime.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.